Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a beginner WordPress tutorial. So let's get started. So I have my website right here, it's a subdomain, and I'm going to be resetting it and I'm going to be showing you guys how we can do this. So basically you have your WordPress website, right? And just going to search up this plugin called WP Reset. And I'm just going to install this plugin right here. I'm going to reset my website and I'm going to guide you guys through how to make your own WordPress website. So it's installing. And so we open our tools, WP Reset. And then, so basically like right here, and we scroll down and we're just gonna type reset and we're gonna reset site. So as you see, it's gonna start the resetting and then we're gonna have a fresh WordPress website. So 2 seconds. And then if we visit site, it's just the beginner's website with the default WordPress template. So as a beginner, you want to click on the dashboard to like view the back end of your website. So you go here, hover over, click dashboard, and it'll load you to like your WP admin, right? Then what you want to do is that ideally as a beginner, you probably want to start like stylizing your website a bit, like kind of just get it going, So you want to go under appearance and you want to click themes, right? And these are a whole bunch of different themes. Now, you'll probably only have like 1 or 2 default WordPress themes. So, in order to add new themes, you click on Add New, and bang, there's like a bunch of themes here. You can install this one, this one, this one, like literally so many free WordPress themes. Now, let's say that like which one looks good. Like we could pick any one which we wanted. So let's say for this video we'll pick. So let's see which ones we have. So we're gonna click on themes, and these are all the ones we have. And in my opinion, I think a good one that we should select would be this one because it looks pretty nice. So we're gonna click activate. And now, as you see, the theme is activated. So if I click on my site, right click, open link in new tab, then you'll see that this theme is applied. Now, there are a few plugins that's like, in order to give you a few customizability features, there are a few plugins that would be useful. So if you go under plugins and add new, now you see there are all these plugins. There's like spam protection. There's this plugin for customization. There's the plugin called BuddyPress for making users. So many plugins. And if you click on popular, you can see there's contact form plugins. So basically, what plugins are basically extensions in a sense that you can add to your WordPress website. So if you want to add like a sign up form, then contact form 7 or WP forms would be good like resources for that. Or if you want like website SSL certification, then really simple SSL would be a good one for that. Or if you want to build store e-commerce, then you could use WooCommerce. Now the two plugins I would recommend are Elementor and this other one that I really like for beginners called Brizy, which I use all the time. So Brizy Page Builder, you click install, and while I'm at it, I'll also activate Elementor as well. So Elementor. I'm gonna activate that one as well. And if I go into, okay, you have to create your account. Now, I'm gonna skip for now. I don't want to create an account because not enough time right now. But yeah. So then you have your Elementor thing, but I'll go on that later. So let me just go back real quick. Back to the website, yeah. So if we go on installed plugins right here, so we have all of our plugins, and we have Elementor and Brizy, which should be here. We want to activate Brizy as well, because Brizy is what we really want to use for today's tutorial. So if you go on Brizy, you'll see that Brizy could be found, well, it's not really found here yet, but now we want to actually create a new page, because right now if you go here, so these are our pages. We have a sample page, which is the default page. We have a privacy policy, which I don't really need for these purposes, and Elementor just created a sample page for us. But yeah, this is our default page. We want to put this in the trash as well. So now we have no pages, and if you go on our website and refresh, it's just like the default page. Or there's no pages, it's just loading up a random page. But what we're gonna do is now we're gonna add a new page, and this will be our home page. So you could obviously use WordPress's default editor. So if you wanted to, for instance, you could just like create your own title, and you could say like top 5 plugins in WordPress, and you could like type a bunch of stuff, hit enter, like add a new block, you could add an image, you could make it a rounded image, you could do all of these things. But personally, you don't have like lots of customization, and like it's kind of hard for beginners to like do actual embedding in HTML into the WordPress website, which really it isn't about that. It's about having full customization at the tip of your fingers. So because of that, you can have two options. You can edit with Elementor, or you can edit with Brizy. Now let's try editing with Brizy. So we're gonna leave site, and we're gonna edit with Brizy. So Brizy is just gonna give it a custom title for now, and you can start building your page. So you want to click this add icon, and you have a bunch of blocks that you can just basically drag and drop in, and you have a bunch of layouts. Now let's start with the layouts since we're just beginning on WordPress. Now, you can pick any one of these layouts, and they're independent of your theme or customization template. Now, let's say we wanted these ones. We could filter them by free by clicking on free, and all of these are free templates. So you click this one, looks really cool, and we can import this layout. And bang, just like that, you have a really cool, visually appealing website. So you could edit the text by double clicking, you could change it. Oops. Wait, let me hold it by accidentally. Yeah, you could change all things. You could add text, remove text, add images, etc. Like really the possibilities are endless. So yeah, that's what Brizy could do. You could like say, this is a snapshot of our software. And it looks really cool. And if you click this icon, you can change the background of it. So if you don't like this image, or you want to adjust it, you could go like that. It'll adjust the image. You could even import the YouTube video. You could put it on loop. You could put a starting time to it. You could also add like a Google Maps. And yeah, that's basically like what you need to know for the basics. You can also add your own images. You can edit the image. And yeah, that's basically it for the Brizy layouts. They're really cool in my opinion. You also have your footers, obviously. You can edit the buttons by clicking on the link icon and putting your own custom Twitter, for example. So I can put my own Twitter, which you should follow, by the way. And I just type that in. You could also make it open in a new tab. You could also add your own pop-up, but the pop-ups are not free though. They all require money. So yeah. But for now you could go with the URL, you could save draft. And then you could go, you could also add blocks. So, or you could add elements and you can add blocks. So let's try adding blocks first. So to add blocks, you click on one of these plus symbols and it loads you on blocks. And you can click one of the random blocks, for example this one. and then it basically loads this up. So you have this like really cool basically extra element to your layout. You could change the background color, or you could have it as the normal color and change the transparency. You could change the color based on other colors used within the layout. You could go in settings. You could change like basically the fonts. And yeah, there's literally limitless changes. If you don't like it, or yeah, if you don't like it, you could delete it. And yeah, that's for the blocks. Now for the elements. So to add an element, you click on the plus sign in the top left, and you can search for whichever element you want. The ones that are circled with the red circle, they cost money, so you can't use those. But yeah, so you can basically import anything you want. You can import text by dragging it and putting it where you want and saying this is text, right? Or this is my website, you know, or like all rights reserved for me, you know, or something professional that anything you'd like, really. So yeah, now you could also put in some rows, some columns, and anything you really wanted. Now for Elementor. Okay, now before we do this, okay. Before we do this, there's one last thing you have to know. If you click on Customize at the top menu bar, if you will, you could change the active theme, and you could check like all of these themes, and you could change your theme. So let's say I wanted a more like, I don't know, modern theme, I guess you could say. I could do a live preview of this, you know, I could see what this theme looks like. This theme is called Shapely, and this is how it would look like on my device. Let's say I didn't like that, I could just go back onto Customize again, go change. I could like literally change it to a different theme. I could go on WordPress.org themes even if I wanted to, and I could just see like all of these ones. So like, you know, I could just scroll down. I see like this one. Oh, it looks really catchy. You know, I installed a theme. It's sitting on my live preview, and just like that, it may take a little bit while to load when it's a new theme. But once it's loading, once it has loaded, you can completely see your whole website basically at the tip of your fingers. So it may take a while for this to load, but yeah, you get the point. You can also go into site identity, and you can select the site icon, and you can upload the file or go into your media library. Now I'm gonna exit that because I don't want to mess around with it for now. And I'm gonna go back onto the Elementor. So I'm gonna go back to my dashboards, or I could go to my pages right here, and I'm gonna click Add New Page. Now, as you see, it's an empty page. We could give it a name though. We could call this like the home page, or like we could call this like sample page, you know, or like test page, right? We could do that. We can edit with Elementor, and it's gonna load up this page, right? So there's easy navigation right here. We can just exit that pop-up, right? And we have like a bunch of things. Now Elementor is a bit more advanced, but honestly, it's not really that advanced at all actually. Now, if you're a coder, you could just insert in like HTML codes. Like, I believe this would be the command for a header, h1, and you could type hello, and you can have your own header with HTML. But I wouldn't recommend using Elementor in that sort of way. What I would use Elementor for is basically having like more control. It's like Elementor is a bit more advanced, but you get a bit more control. So you could open like a text editor, you could open a heading. Now let's say we want to have a heading, for example. We could change the text to be bold. We could align it to the center. We could make the title test page. We could Control U to underline it. If we go on style, we could edit text shadow. Now this is where things get interesting, because we can make a text shadow, a really professional text shadow in Elementor really easily. We could change the text color as well to red. We could change the typography to like a different font family. So there's this font family, there's a bunch of other ones, and they give you a live preview of the font. So you could have like a really interesting font, you could have a more modern font, you could have like a typewriter type font, you could change the weight, you could change the you can make it all uppercase, you can make it all lowercase, you could capitalize, you could like have it normal or have it on the default setting, which is typically the normal setting. Now the style, it could be normal, it could be italic, it could be oblique, but yeah, default would be the best. You could add an underline decoration, an overline decoration, you know, a line in the middle of it, you know, a line through, and yeah, you could just edit the text live, you know, like, it's a really cool thing, right? And you could go on your content, you could go back, you could hit this X to delete. You could go on like lots of these. The ones with the locks though, you have to have the pro version of Elementor to use them. But other than that, there's lots of them, you know? There's lots of good good things you can do with Elementor. You have like a progress bar. So the title could be money, you know, money fundraised, and it gives you a live live progress bar, and you can say money or you could say goal equals like however many dollars, and you could, and yeah, it's like really, it's like you could say, you could give and there's different like types of progress bar. You can have a success, a warning progress bar, a danger progress bar, and it changes the color, you know, an info progress bar. I think the success one looks really good, and you can change the percentage as well to like 75. You know, it doesn't even have to like, I'm pretty sure you can do decimal numbers as well. Yeah. So basically the possibilities are endless, you know? You could select the structure, so you could have 3 different things at once. So you could have a YouTube video. This is the placeholder YouTube video for now, but you can add your own link, and to add your own link, you just select the link in here. You can also change which provider of video you use, and you can change the start and end time. You can make it on autoplay, you could play on mobile, you can mute it as well, you can loop it, and you could make a privacy mode where YouTube won't store the information about the visitors on your website unless they play the video. And you can also do a lazy load, which I'm not quite sure what it is, but you could basically just mess around with whatever you want. Now you can add another one. So let's say we want to add an image. It's going to add like this default image icon. And you could also add a Google Maps. For example, let's say we want to show our customers the headquarters. It's just going to load a like random location. And yeah, so then we have a pretty cool looking website, even though there isn't really any content on it. So yeah, that's what Elementor can do. This is an important one. Now we have to talk about different plugins that you have to have in WordPress when you're starting out. So the first one for spam protection is something called Akismet Anti-Spam. So basically just like search up spam protector, this is the first result, and you can typically trust first results in WordPress because they always rank it based off reviews and credibility and etc. Of course, you mentioned Brizy and Elementor. You also can have this Colibri page builder. I used it in the past. I liked it, but I think Brizy in general and Elementor combined together while making a website is much more a better idea. You also have easy, or this isn't really important, but this one is embed any document. So if you want to embed, now embedding in WordPress is actually a term that in WordPress that refers to basically implementing stuff. So let's like Embedding is typically used to add stuff to your site that you can't really like normally add with WordPress. For example, like you could import text just by writing like random text in your WordPress website. You don't really have to import a file or install a plugin or anything. But the thing is, for something else, like let's say you want to import your podcast into your website. Like there's no button on WordPress to say like, okay, add podcast and add your link. So what you have to do is that you have to copy like this thing called RSS feed and embed it into WordPress so that WordPress could scan the feed and play your podcast on the website. So this is basically what embedding is. Now, embedding any documents, the embed any documents plugin allows you to embed PDF files, Microsoft Word files, PowerPoint files, and Excel files. This is especially useful for PowerPoint files, but you can use it for whatever you want. Embedpress also does the same thing, but for multiple things. So I'd recommend Embedpress actually. I've used it in the past before. Let's see, what we also have Google Drive embedding Google Drive. We also have Protect WP Admin, which basically is able to protect your administrative like account by like changing like certain slugs and all that on your website to log in. Also, really simple SSL, as mentioned in the beginning of this video. This is how I was able to give the security checkmark on my website. There's also WP Server Security. I don't really use it anymore, but you really do have to have the security thing. And obviously WP Reset. This could really reset your website if like there's any problems. You could just reset your website. You know, I've resetted my website in the past, not too often, but you know, like this website is basically a subdomain, so realistically, it doesn't really matter if I reset anything, because I'm not actually resetting the website itself. I'm resetting the subdomain. Yeah, but those are for the plugins I have right now, but there are also a bunch of other plugins that you should know about that I don't have on this particular subdomain. And those are BuddyPress. So BuddyPress allows you to create user profiles. So it's really good for like newsletter and like social media type websites. I use it a lot. On my other website, which is actually webnet.com if you're interested. There's this other thing called Gutenberg. Gutenberg is a really popular one. I haven't used it in the past, but it provides editing and customization to a site, kind of like how Elementor, Brizy, and lots of these other things do. And if you go into the popular ones, on the popular plugins, you can see there's also WP Forms. I use WP Forms a lot. To make forms, specifically for newsletter forms. What else is there? There's WooCommerce. I actually used Yoast SEO on one of my older websites for this school project, and yeah, it's Yoast SEO is okay. I mean, I don't really have any comments on it. Contact Form is the alternative to WP Forms, and WordFence I used to use it a lot. I really recommend it. WordFence is really good. They like email you on updates for your website, and in general, it's really good. This is Monster Insights. Like it's basically Google Analytics, basically insight for your website. There's also all-in-one SEO. Yeah, there's also SiteKit. If you want to use AdSense, then you have to install this. Google does require that if you have a WordPress website. Super Chatchy, I've never used it, but Super Chatchy is like basically, like if you delete Chatchy, it makes your like website a bit more faster, or like reduces like space on Google Chrome, or something along those lines. But this plugin is able to make your website a bit more faster. Now there are some plugins like essential add-ons for Elementor that basically like are free add-ons that will boost your Elementor experience and give you a more modern look to your website rather than like Elementor's robust look. Now there's also some websites for logging for like user login. Most notably Theme My Login. Oh, right. Hold up. Just wait for it to load. Yeah. See my login, this one is really good. Seedprod is also good. I don't really use these. I use websites like plugins like Ultimate Member. Ultimate Member. Yeah, like Ultimate Member, and like I don't really use like these I also use like user role editor plugins and all that. And yeah, like just basically like if you search up what you want, chances are you're gonna get some good things. There's also reCAPTCHAs, and also if you're interested in reCAPTCHAs for your forms, like if you want to make a sign-up form that has reCAPTCHA, contact forms would be the best one to do that with. Okay, so now those are the plugins that you have to have. Now you probably are wondering, what is this post and comment icon right here? What is it meant for and how can I use it? Well, posts in WordPress are basically like individual pages, but you could just make posts, you know, like it's that sort of thing. So you can make a new post and you can post about like things like the stock market is going up, like the stocks are going up, for example. And you can make a post about like how like at I don't know, May 14 it went like the stocks went up, you know, or something like that. And you could publish that post and people could see the post. Now, these posts would be updated on your things. So as you see, there's one default post called Hello World. So yeah, those are basically what posts are, and they're meant for like social media websites. Hence like other people can make posts on your website, and it's mostly meant for news websites as well. Now, an example I could show is my own website right here. So I have this subdomain. It was one of my school projects, and if we check it out, this is basically, so these are all individual posts. We have all of these posts with different categories. So if I wanted to go on a category of like ransomware, then I could see all the posts related to that category. If I wanted to talk about a category, say privacy laws and rights, then I could go on that category, you know, click one of the posts that I feel interested in, and I could see what the post is all about. You know, so there's a post here, it has a YouTube video and all that, and it's really cool. So yeah, now generally in a post, it gives the date in the slug of the URL, it gives the date and the title of the post. And you can obviously change that in the settings of the post. Okay, so now we're back here. You also have your updates. So these are basically some general things you have to know. You have your updates. You can reinstall WordPress. You can update your plugins. You could select all and do this bulk action of updating your plugins, which I don't want to do for now. Now, in general, WordPress can be a bit harder to use, but you can still make modern websites out of WordPress, like how I have with my YouTube channel. So as you see, this is made with Brizy. You have a YouTube video at the back, some buttons to sign up and sign in. You have your newsletter, animated text, buttons that actually work. You know, you could, and if you click on one of the random pages, you know, you could install and they bring you to download links. And in general, I would really recommend Brizy. That's just kind of the takeaway from it. Anyways, I hope you all have had a nice day. There's also a scroll to top feature. Okay, so I hope you all have a nice day. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed. And yeah, see you in the next video. Comment down below. Bye.